All right, good morning, y'all. We are live. Welcome to the Falcons Podcast, presented by PrizePicks, America's #1 sports picks application. That is new. Get used to it. They're going to be around for a while, hopefully. If we do a good job with them, they are now sponsoring the Falcons Podcast. You can see in the little watermark here, that's PrizePicks and HMA. I got approached by an ad agency that said, "Hey, can we like what you're doing? Can we sell some ads for you?" And they did. So we're actually going to have a new segment every podcast we do where we go through a little daily fantasy. So that'll be part. It won't take long, but it's going to be something we do, and I'm really looking forward to doing it during football season. And we'll figure it out together during baseball and basketball season this summer. But that's going to be a new thing. Nick is supposed to be joining me. I hadn't heard from him. Hopefully he's just a couple minutes late, but he was not on building the Broncos last night. So I'm not sure. Otherwise, we've got plenty going on today, including news. We've got breaking news this morning. The Falcons have made another administrative pick. They have poached Jeff Scott from the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I was reading through his background a little bit, and I like what I see. He spent 5 years with the Philadelphia Eagles, and he worked his way up and was promoted to vice president of football operations. In the past, he worked as the Eagles director of football operations, and he was the team's senior pro scout in 2021 after spending 9 years with Washington. That was probably the Redskins, Commanders, and football team in Washington. So what he would do is scout pro player personnel. I think that was one of Terry Fontenot's strengths. He would do advanced scouting for, okay, this is how we attack these guys, and then these are the players we want when they hit free agency. So that is another good hire from another good program. And I like the way they have done this in the offseason. You've got guys with ties to the Ravens, with the Eagles, and then Ian Cunningham did his post-grad doctoral with the Chicago Bears. So I've always admired the way the Ravens have handled the offseason and handled the draft. And it's not easy to win a Super Bowl, and especially when you got Pat Mahomes in his prime. But as far as their ability to build and scout players, I think has been top notch. So being able to poach some people from there, and then we like what the Philadelphia Eagles have done to build their team, which is just through power. Let's build up the trenches and then work our way out from there. So another in that line of thought for me is good news. So I'm looking forward to, again, a complete overhaul. This team needed a reset. I think of, what was that, 1989 Batman, Jack Nicholson. This town needs an enema. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this Falcons team. And I've mentioned before, it was good fortune being able to get Tagovailoa on $1.3 million, but they're going to need some more good fortune. But you make your own breaks too. You're not crippled by one bad move, this bad move, if you are a good, solid foundation organization. Now, San Francisco hasn't won a Super Bowl either, but is anybody going to argue that they're one of the elite teams in the NFC? And they flushed 3 first-round picks down the toilet because overall their structure is still pretty solid. And it hurts. And part of that's getting lucky. You got a franchise-ish quarterback in Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant. That takes a little bit of luck. I mean, it's good scouting, don't get me wrong, but it takes a little bit of luck. But you build the team and the resources, the infrastructure around the team that you can sustain or survive something like that. It doesn't totally send you into, 9 years of doldrums. But we do go live on Monday and Wednesday. And for my members, we go live on Fridays too. And then Garrett goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays because I like having the conversation with y'all. So I want to say hello to some folks. James was in nice and early, and James is a member. He's coming in from Naples. It's getting hot down there. Yet. We're headed down next week. I'll be coming from Panama City because our baseball team, our high school baseball team, does a spring break trip every year. So we're playing 3 games down there. So I'll be on the other side of Florida, about as far away from you as we can get. But headed down that direction here. And then we'll be podcasting Monday and Wednesday from, depending on what time the game is, from Panama City. So good morning from Naples. Looking forward to today's show. Me too. I'm a little nervous, actually. It's a new agency. It's a new sponsor. I want to do good by them. I want to do good by them. So I'm a little nervous too, a little excited though, because it's a year-long sponsor. So they're in for the long haul. So we're going to be doing this every day for a while. And I'm looking forward to learning more about and doing daily fantasy with y'all. Getting and watching. For me, it'll be mostly the Braves. That's where I'll be setting my lineups as looking at that. And John Harrell coming in. Good to see you, John. He says, good morning, Falcons family, and happy hump day. It is hump day, isn't it? Sometimes you forget. It's like I usually set my calendar by, okay, it's Thursday night football. Okay, that means tomorrow's Friday. Okay, it's college football Saturday. It's football Sunday. It's Monday night football. There's no football. It must be Tuesday. So I kind of lose it during the week, during the off season. Denver Luke is here as well. He says, good morning, Scott and Nick. Happy mock draft Wednesday. We will do a mock draft as well. Cheers to that. He's got the coffee emojis. I just poured this, so it's a little hot. I'm trying a cold brew for the first time today. I put it in the fridge about 11 o'clock yesterday morning and just poured it into a canister so I can have it this afternoon. So we'll see how that goes on a cold brew, but it's supposed to be pretty good. And I don't want to drink hot coffee in the South at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I want something a little different. And the energy drinks aren't doing it for me. If I'm not working out, I don't want an energy drink. So I probably should just work out more, right? Antonio, good to see you. He says, good morning, Falcons fam. Commuting to the soothing sound of Scott's voice. Antonio, I feel like I should sing something for you now. I actually love to sing. I'm just embarrassed to do it in front of anybody else, except like close friends in the car. If you're in the car with me, you're going to get serenaded. Doing it beyond that is it's kind of scary for me. Sam, good to see you. Says, morning all. I think Ian's just doing some public negotiating. So this is on the topic of today. What did we learn from the owners' meetings? And the topics of young players has come up. Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. It sounds to me like the surest of surefire bets is, and it might be soon. Again, you've got 3 years of control on Bijan Robinson, but the surest of the surefire bets is Bijan Robinson being a Falcon for a long time, as long as he stays healthy. The next closest would be Drake. They want to get a deal done with Drake, and they said, we're pushing all of that beyond the draft. Okay, so be it. I would have liked to have had a deal done with Drake London before the draft, because if I can't get a deal done with Drake London, I might want to trade him. But this team isn't really going for it in 2026 anyway. So, hey, if I'm going to move him, I can move him in June and get a first-round pick and change for 2027, which looks like a much deeper draft. And again, before you rage comment as you're watching later, I don't want to trade Drake London. But if Drake London is giving indications that he doesn't want to be in Atlanta, I need to trade Drake London, and you can get a haul for him. And then the third one, talking about publicly negotiating, Ian Cunningham has basically said with Kyle Pitts, hey, we're going to do what's best for us. And that would be, we like Kyle. We want him to be here. He's an exciting player, et cetera, et cetera. But he had a similar tone, Sam, when he was talking about Caden. Yeah, we like Caden. We want him back, but we're not going to overpay. He was hedging a little bit on that. So could Kyle Pitts be moved? Yeah, he could. My thought is always bet on a deal not being done. So my bet would be he will be a Falcon in 2026. Beyond that, even the top tight ends aren't overly expensive. I mean, him making wide receiver 2 money at $15 to $18 million would put him in the top 5 of tight ends. Is he that good? Is he good enough for that? But again, that's also why I want to draft a wide receiver every year. I don't want more than 1 second contract wide receiver on my team, like good contract, not just like, middling. I'm talking like they've earned the $30 million plus contracts on that one. So we'll see. We'll get into that later too. James, good morning, everybody. Right back at you. Trenton has been a member. Be like Trenton, y'all. Be like Trenton. Trenton's been a member for 4 months. So that you must have been one of our first, because that's how long we've been doing it. And it's slowly still rising. And we are going to do a jersey giveaway no later than draft week for the members. I'll figure out how to do it, and I will give some advantages to the perch members. You might get a couple little extra lottery balls, ping pong balls in the lottery, and then we'll raffle something off, a jersey of your choice, assuming they have it. And let's see, if our Panther member wins, he's going to have to pick somebody else. I can't get him a Carolina Panthers jersey from the Falcons podcast. Maybe a Bob Christian. That'd work for you. He was a good Panther, and he was a hell of a Falcon too. Trent says, if I could be this punctual in life, I'd be ahead. And we try to be on time here. I might usually at worst 2 minutes late as I'm getting stuff together here. Jerry's on the let's move him. And good to see you, Jerry. And he says, good morning, everyone. Let's trade Pitts and get some more picks. His good stat line came from games when Drake was out and he was the only target in town. Yeah, that's why I've always said, if I'm doing anything with Kyle Pitts for 2026, it's franchise tag. It is cheap, relatively speaking. The two of the cheapest franchise tags are running back and tight end. And, even his 5th-year option was worth it. The quarterbacks have a $30 million price tag. Kyle's was 11. Bijan's is 11. That's cheap, relatively speaking. That was worth the gamble. But I don't want to necessarily reward him with a multi-year contract, anything beyond 2 years of guaranteed money for one contract year season playing on a 5th-year option. And, if you look at the numbers, and I'm sure y'all have, they were a lot with Drake out, and they were a lot at the end of the season once the Falcons had already been eliminated from the playoffs. And that's stat padding. It's great. The Falcons are out of it, and they're not playing for anything, but you're playing for a new contract, and you need to get your numbers up. Okay. I don't want to reward that with 4 years, $60 million with 40 guaranteed. 2 years at most. But I'd be happy to let him play on the tag this year. And then if I have to pay more later, so be it. If he goes out and has if he goes out and truly, because his numbers say he's top 5, but did it feel like that throughout the course of the season to you? Probably not. I mean, halfway through the season, I was done. I'm like, he's gone. And then, oh yeah, there he is. There's the guy he can be, and he finishes top 5 in yardage for tight ends. Is it a mirage? Is it an illusion? Or is the light coming on for him? Is he, maturing? Again, his prime, he's not even close to hitting his prime. His prime should be 27 to 31, 32 years old. He's still 25. I think he turns 26 in October. Despite the fact that he's been in the league. He started his first 4 games as a Falcon as a 20-year-old. So it would take me a low second, high third, and all of the money for me to pick up the phone. And I'd probably want you to kick in a 2027 pick because you'd have to replace him. And right now, you kind of need him. You kind of need Kyle Pitts for this team. It's like, well, Scott, you just said, you're not really care about this season. Yeah, but I don't want to we're not tanking either. This is an evaluation year. And there's someone that comes in our comments, never in the live chat, comes in the comment, well, what do you mean by evaluation? If you know what you have in Tua and you should by now, then what are you actually evaluating? Like everything. I'm evaluating Kevin Stefanski. I'm evaluating, do I want to give Tua this money? I'm evaluating, is Michael Penix going to be my quarterback next year? I'm evaluating, should I keep Kyle Pitts another year? Or should I move him on? Do I need to give him a long-term contract? What about Drake? Drake has one 1,000-yard season and was banged up last year, playing a lot of the Julio Jones role of catching screens and playing uber physically. I need to evaluate my left and right tackles. Every free agent I brought in is on a 1-year deal. I've got a lot to evaluate what I decide and how I attack 2027. So lots of stuff going on. Terry, good to see you. Says good morning. And thank you, Sam. I certainly appreciate it. Psalm out in California. Good to see you. And let's see. Morning, AJ. Hope you are doing well. Terry says they need the Falcons to repeat what the Hawks are doing. What are the Hawks doing essentially? Boil it down for me. I know they traded Trae Young and they've gone on a winning streak. I don't know beyond that because I don't typically think of the Hawks as a model franchise. I typically think of them as what is wrong with corporate ownership and when they don't really care about winning, just padding their bottom line. I mean, it's I've called it the Billionaire Boys Club my whole life. You buy your way in, and it's the safest investment. How do I make $3 million turn into $6 million? I buy a professional American sports team. Did y'all see the valuation? Was it the Dolphins, I think? Did y'all see the valuation on the Dolphins? $12.5 million. I think the Broncos set a record just 2-3 years ago at 7. And it was $12.5 million valuation on the Miami Dolphins. Good gracious. Halsey says, Pitts has an argument that his availability makes him more valuable than London. If you mean by not missing games, he's probably missed more games in his career than he's had a 1 year longer career. He's probably missed more games in London though, with that knee injury. And, but he did play all of the games. And Halsey, if I was a hater, I might say the reason he's healthy is because he's not playing very hard. He's not blocking. He's not in contested catches. He's not making the tough catches over the middle. He's protecting himself. Another word for that is soft. Is Kyle Pitts soft? I don't know. But what have we questioned through the years about Kyle Pitts? Effort and attitude, blocking, on that type of stuff. So, he has been healthy last year, which is good. And he had a good season last year. And I think he's probably worth the 15 that he's getting paid this year. I'm just hesitant to give him anything more than 2 years of guaranteed money. If I were to read, the Falcons have given Kyle Pitts a 3-year, $50 million with 35 guaranteed. That ends up being 16.5 per year with 2 years of guaranteed money. I'd say, okay, that's a compromise for me. I'd just as soon be another 1 year deal. But a 2 year deal, I think, would be a decent compromise. And he's not tying up so much money that I can't go do other things. When you give Drake London that next contract, that's going to be a hit. That's going to be a contract hit. That's going to be 10% of your salary cap. Drake's half of that. Kyle's half of that. Unbeatable, thank you for being a member. He says, good morning, Scott. I'm honestly hoping we trade Pitts and Bates and use those picks to replace on rookie contracts. Yeah, I would understand more. I get them both. I really do. You're not going to get better this year by making those trades. That's something that people need to understand when we talk about making these deals. There are people that are still out there that are the eternal optimists. I am not that person. I am not going into the season thinking that this is a Super Bowl contender. I'm not even really thinking that they're, an NFC championship game contender. I'm thinking maybe they can make the playoffs and who knows, upset somebody in the first round. Maybe that's what, kind of what I'm hoping for season outcome. For what I'm hoping for this team is you've got your options at quarterback, maybe 2 of them that you feel good about. And going in, to me, that's one of the best case scenarios. But there are people out there that think this team should be aiming for the Super Bowl, that they shouldn't even suit them up. Well, they're going to suit them up, and aiming for the Super Bowl for me is a little unrealistic. So those are the people that think trading someone like Jesse Bates is just absolutely asinine because he's one of your best players and you won't get better by trading him right away. I agree with that. You won't. But what are your expectations coming in? Are your expectations for 2026 that Jesse Bates is going to be the difference between winning and losing a Super Bowl? If not, then if it is, then you should absolutely hold on to him. Those aren't my expectations. I don't think that's it. I think 2026 is 2026 is let's see what we've got with everybody. This is a new staff, new regime, figuring things out with, do I need to start rebuilding on the offensive line? That's coming. Chris Lindstrom's not getting any younger either. Again, I like the young core, but would I be better off moving Drake? Why, if I don't have a quarterback, why am I going to give Drake London a $30 million contract? I'd rather have another first-round pick. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I understand that moving Bates still makes the most sense to me. This is a team that can't afford a $25 million safety. It's a luxury that they just don't need. Build for the future. I'd rather have that money even rolled over into next year's salary cap if I can't spend it really this year. And, maybe you get a third-round pick out of it too. A third-round pick is a starter, especially at safety. At a non-premium position, I can get starters at interior line, at linebacker, at running back, at safety, at tight end with a third-round pick. And then I got an extra, if I roll my money over, I've got plenty of money then to supplement that. So Pitts to me is a little bit different. He's just so tantalizing, as a weapon that I don't really want to see Pitts somewhere else. I want to see Pitts shine here in Atlanta. And, the off the field stuff certainly seems like, he enjoys his teammates going on trips with Bijan. I don't think that's just an agent thing set up. They genuinely seem, happy to be playing together. So we'll see on that. Michael Ronquillo, good to see you, my friend. Hope you were doing well. He's out in Arizona as well, so he's up early. Pamela, great to see you, and thanks for being a member. Says good morning, Scott, and everyone in the chat. Happy hump day. Right back at you. Dogs 1988 as well. And TJS says karaoke Scott is a menace. I never actually did that. Even when I was a raging drunk, I wouldn't get up there and do it. And I definitely wouldn't now. My forehead is like starting to sweat just thinking about getting up there and doing karaoke. Like, what would I do? I'd probably do, if I were to do anything, I'm a metalhead, but those aren't the best karaoke songs. I would probably do a Zach Brown song, like Toes. I love that song. The one that he did with Jimmy Buffett. In my head, I sing that song well. So I might do that one because it's fun and it's pretty easy to sing on that one. And Terry talking about 2 firsts or 2 seconds would go a long way in ensuring our position for a quarterback in next year's draft. Yeah. There's going to be some out there. I think you can get some beyond the top 5, and I don't think the Falcons are going to be bad enough to be drafting top 5 anyway. But, if you pile up a couple 2027 picks, maybe you could move up a little bit. We'll see. Again, best case scenario for this team is they find their quarterback this year. If it's Tua, what was the Baker Mayfield number, the original one that he signed with Tampa, and then even since then, that makes sense to me. When, even Sam Darnold got a good contract from Seattle, but it wasn't huge. Let me look that up real quick. I don't think he signed an absolutely insane contract. I think it was still like 1.5 years of guaranteed money when they signed him. Don't you hate it when you're like on a website and like the ad loads late and it moves everything down a line so you end up clicking on the ad? There's no way that's by accident. Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold got a good contract. His cap hit this year is 38. He originally signed, I think the number said like 100. He signed a 3-year, 105, and which is 33 a year, which is bargain, actually. That's below average. The 15th quarterback, if I sort by average salary, is $45 million. So anything below $45 million is below average. And that's not counting the guys on rookie deals like Penix, Bo Nix, Drake May, and Caleb Williams, who at least a couple of those guys are probably better than 15th in quarterback. So you don't even have to be an average quarterback in the NFL to make $45 million. So Sam Darnold got a 3-year, $105 million contract with the Seahawks with 55 guaranteed. So he basically got 1 year of guaranteed money at $35 million, and then $20 of severance, $20 million of severance in case we didn't keep you beyond the first year. I would be okay with that kind of deal. If Tua has a great season, I mean, let's say, because when Sam got that deal, what was he? 15-2, 14-3. If Tua is the starting quarterback and has a season like that, I'm okay with that deal. I am. That's a 1.5 year guarantee. So basically it's a 1 year commitment. Do it again. I'd be okay with that. So I don't want to be in the quarterback market again. I want to be talking offensive tackles this time next year. Who do we get to protect the quarterback who's coming off a great season because Jake's getting older? That's what I want to talk about on that. Jay, good to see you. And I hope you were doing well. Jay's out at the driving range all the time. He wants to do a meet and greet at Top Golf, which we might. We can do these again. We'll see how this one goes. I'm all for getting as many picks as possible. I love the players, but no one is bigger than the program. Yeah, and frankly, the picks are the ones that you can at least almost guarantee that you're allowed to root for. Hey, I just went and bought my Jesse Bates jersey. Yeah, they traded him. Most of those guys are going to be there for at least a couple years on that. But when it comes down to which jerseys should I get, I always think the safest is to go retro. Go get a legend. Go get a Falcons legend on that one. I've got one Falcon. Of course, I got it when he was still playing. But I have two Falcons. I think I've told you all this story. I've got two Falcons jerseys in my closet. My favorite player in 1997, when I just started dating a new girl, was Jamal Anderson. I just love power running backs. I love the way he ran. And I got a Anderson jersey, but it was with an E. So I got the Morton Anderson jersey. I still have that one up in my room. And then the other one I've got is Jesse Tuggle. He was still playing too. So those are definitely retro now. Chris Walker, good to see you. Hope you are doing well. Psalm says, I always thought that Pitts would be gone this year. It worked out about as well as it could have for Terry Fontenot with his decision. Let's pick up the 5th-year option. We're not going to trade him for nothing. And then if he has a good season, you franchise tag him. That was always the right way to do things. And I'm glad that Terry Fontenot did that. So it worked out well. See, Electrician's also a member. Thank you. Certainly appreciate you. Halsey says the wingspan on Kenyon Sadiq is 78. Kyle Pitts is 83. What's the one I told y'all, the one that absolutely blows my mind when it comes to wingspans is I did taxes this week, so I have to scroll down to my 10th. Where the hell are my combines? There they are. It's my 10th Excel spreadsheet. As far as wingspan goes, Kenyon Sadiq isn't as tall as Kyle Pitts. He's, Kyle Pitts is definitely taller and longer, but the craziest wingspan that I remember seeing this year. So you just put it up here, right? Wingspan, tight end, Kenyon Sadiq, 78. Kenyon Sadiq he measured 6'3" and an eighth. So just a tick over 6'3", 241 pounds. Wingspan of 78.25. Kyle Pitts' wingspan, I thought it was even a little bit bigger than that. I thought his was 84, but 83, that's close. He's got these huge long arms, huge catch radius. He's 6'5". The crazy one is running back Mike Washington of Arkansas with an 82-inch wingspan. He is 6'1". That is just absolutely unbelievable. And what's that? How do we say that one? Alexa Gentle. Sure. Hopefully I didn't get nerfed on that one I said something wrong. That happens to people every once in a while. He says, KP isn't going anywhere. Matt is back and knows how to use them. Well, who else has done a pretty good job at using the tight end is Kevin Stefanski. So we will see. I don't think he does a great job. He's got to be in motion more. He needs to be hit in stride more. If I see him catching tight end screens with his feet flat on the ground 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, I'm going to call him out for it. said this is a little bit ridiculous. So I'm going to move down here a little bit here. We're going to try this here also real quick because I want y'all to hit up PrizePicks. There's a link in the description. Again, like Dave said, they are going to be they're a sponsor for us. And we're going to be doing a daily segment where we're doing some daily fantasy. So we're going to do a segment of this every time. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks application. It's easy to use. You just pick more or less when you set your lineup and lock it in. And then we also have a new deal here as part of the sponsorship. If you sign up for PrizePicks with code HMA, as you see on our watermark, you get $50 in lineups when you spend your first $5. So if you put in $5, you get $50. So play $5 and get 50 in lineups. Download the app using code HMA. And you can also do it on desktop right here. I signed up for it yesterday. I've never played daily fantasy. And I was like, well, this is pretty easy. And you go in and it gives you a list of different players, different sports. I never really understood how people do daily fantasy in soccer. My God. Goal, they do. I saw it. It was like total passes. I guess, all right. Total dribbles, total tackles. But that's one of the options up here too. So I can pick MLB, NBA, soccer, tennis, college basketball. That's going to be a big one. Now, as I was going through and looking how to build my lineup, I need to pick 3 and then lock it in. You know, I know I used to work with a guy named Dave Tellup. He was head of basketball at Scout when I was running the scouting team. And I just, when I got that job, I'm like, Dave, here's your contract. Go to work. I won't bother you. He's been working for the Spurs. So I talked to him right before they had this pick and got him. But as I was going down here, because I don't know a ton about NBA, I haven't watched it in a while, but there's one guy, and I might have already put him in there, was Jokic, Nikolai, and it was like 13.5 rebounds. I'm like, okay, I want more than that. So here it was Nikola Jokic right here, the Joker at Utah, who will put up a bunch of shots and miss a bunch, 13.5 rebounds. Yeah, I think he's going to beat that one. But then I can go and then look at I can go to MLB also and look at this one and say one of the ones in here was how many Freddie Peralta, do the Mets and St. Louis, do they score a run or not in the first inning between the two of them? So that's one I could do. Chris Sale, 6.5 strikeouts. Yeah, I like that one too. Chris Sale is going to strike out more than 6, right? And then I can go hits. I can do a lot of these different ones. So there was one other one I like to pick in. I think it was strikeout. Let's look at strikeouts. I picked him at 6.5 K. And then let's see who else is pitching. Shane Smith, Sandy Alcantara with 5.5. Here we go. How about the Colorado pitcher Kyle Freeland getting 3.5 strikeouts? Shoot, everybody strikes out more than that. So I pick those guys out. I lock in my lineup. I can change how much I put in. I can play for as little as $5. It pays almost 4-1 if I win. If I hit all 3, and I lock it in and I go. It's pretty freaking easy to do. So as we learn, as I get more into this, we'll start playing some of these games together. And let me know. Hit me up and some of the things that you did. But go to PrizePicks.com. The link is in the description. And if you play $5, you get 50. Use our code HMA. This is a new segment we're going to be doing every week, right about the middle of the show, and we'll get going from there. And I'm really looking forward to it. I don't necessarily like playing season-long fantasy because I'm too obsessive. So playing daily might be just right for me on that. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think. Ozark, he is one of our Broncos coming in here to see us. So it's good to see you. Says Falcons are trending up with Stefanski. That division is winnable. Go Broncos. Yeah, it's kind of strange that the Falcons finished tied for first in the NFC South, but they were eliminated from the playoffs right around Thanksgiving. What a disaster. How frustrating was that season? I mean, as a lifelong Atlanta sports fan, I grew up appreciating the games within the games and finding things to root for and look at. And for me last year, it was the sacks. Okay, you've got a chance to break your sack record. Okay, let's watch that. And then Bijan Robinson was so good. I really enjoyed watching him play. And then when Tyler would come in, watching him do some of those things too. That some of the games within the game, but the outcome of the games themselves and watching the special teams and watching the clock management, watching end of half scenarios was so frustrating. Watching Kyle Pitts taking screen passes while Darnell Mooney is blocking for him. It's so frustrating. Watching Kirk Cousins hobble out there with no Drake London, throwing the ball to David Sills, a 50% Darnell Mooney and Dylan Drummond. It was watching JD Bertrand be on the field for every single play for 90 plays against the Dolphins 30-0. The season itself was unbelievably frustrating. Markel Bell, were you asking about his wingspan? What is his wingspan? Markel Bell, offensive tackle's wingspan, who's 6'9". He's got 9-inch hands, which is just strange to me. Same size hands as I do. Markel Bell, his wingspan is 87 and an eighth. 7'2" is his wingspan. 7'3" is his wingspan on that. Wingspan. I like him. I saw someone did it was we talked about Matt Miller. So yeah, Markel Bell in the 6th. I'm like, well, he's not a great fit for blah, blah, blah. Man, I don't need a great fit in the 6th round, and he's got some, you look at traits, he's got size and length that you cannot coach. Those are traits. So I'm either looking for that guy or I'm looking for the guy that had an unbelievable season. Who's the one that had 250 tackles at some small school in Missouri? I want to give him a shot in the 6th or 7th round on that one. So, Robbie, thank you for joining up and being a member. I know you've been an OG here for a long time. It means a lot. This is we try and do more and more for the members and make it worth your while. We haven't gone backwards. Most everybody that sign up sticks around. So we try and make it worth your while, and we will continue to do more. The bigger we get, the more we'll do. It's always been to try. It's just always try and improve the product has been my promise to you. Russ is a member also. Says jerseys are always a tough choice. I have a white Warwick Dunn jersey picked up in a thrift store here in the UK, but also has a 50th anniversary Roddy White and a recent Lindstrom one in black. Yeah, Lindstrom's been here long enough that he's an Atlanta Falcon. Sometimes it's the the rookies or the guys who have established themselves on rookie contracts. I wouldn't want to buy a Drake London or a Kyle Pitts jersey right now. Not saying they're going to be gone, but there's a little more doubt involved with that right now with them happen. I mean, Drake's a trade piece. He absolutely is. And he's coming up on a contract and he's young. So he could go be a star for somebody else. Warwick is a great choice. Talk about Hall of Fame human being. Warwick Dunn. Just Hall of Fame. I mean, just Saint Warwick Dunn. I just love that guy. And, he's loved plays for the Buccaneers, plays for the Falcons, and he's loved by just both cities. Just an absolutely amazing human being. You cannot go wrong with that one. Speaking of new jerseys, it looks like they've leaked out there some of the new red ones. I can't really tell that much of a difference between that one and some of the old red ones, honestly. So, my favorite combination last year, though, we've talked about this before, was the black jerseys with the red helmets. I thought looked sharp. I don't know. I feel like the newer version of the red jerseys weren't as bright red as the red that I grew up with. In the 80s, it was a little bit different. It had more of a darker, more of a maroon tinge to it. So they're okay. They're okay. And I do like the red better than the black. I feel like everybody went black for a while, and there just isn't as much red. I do on that one. So let's see here. Are we getting close to needing to do a mock draft? We're about 40 minutes in. What do y'all think? Excuse me, Troy. Troy says, please tell me the number font is different. Well, let's just look it up here real quick and I'll share the screen because it was trending. Falcons was trending for me. It trends what you want it, it thinks you want to see. So it's hard to tell always what is actually trending nationally. So mine comes up as Falcons naturally. I get those trends depending on which of my accounts I'm using. I have different trends. So this one was from a guy. He posted it, and then I saw Rise Up Ryan reposted it. I'm actually already sharing my screen. I'm sorry for audio people. This is a really bad experience as I'm stumbling through this trying to get it going. But that's the jersey. It's showing up a little darker on here, so it is a little lighter. This was a jersey he posted as a link. It's got Dirty Birds on the inside collar. It's got the NFLPA engineered stamp on it. Falcons really small. It's very simple, which I don't necessarily mind. Very simple, but this is one that they're mocking. And I just wonder, is this going to be one of their two primaries, or are they going with white and black as their two primaries? Still, I don't know yet. We'll find out soon enough. It's fine. There's nothing there that is earth shattering to me when it comes to it. So Yes Major says, let's bring Terrell. That's Avian Terrell's little brother to Atlanta. So this might not be completely out of the question. Avian Terrell he's one of the few guys that was not hurt by Clemson's bad season, and he's been still getting some really good draft grades, but he missed the combine, and then he has his own pro day, and I think 29 or 30 of the 32 teams showed up, and he aggravated his hamstring again. So maybe he slips a little bit. I hate hamstrings. I hate them. My son got back out and played yesterday. So he's been on and off for 6 weeks now with a hamstring. He got out and played yesterday against Holy Innocents. Holy Innocents is a good team. And 1 for 3 with a walk and some really good play in the outfield. But every time he sprints, now you're wondering, it is no fun at all. But but Avian Terrell, he might slip just a little bit if there's some concerns about his speed because you didn't get to see him run. And I don't know. Are you really overly concerned about long-term injury health with a hamstring? Probably not. But maybe he comes down a little bit. I've got the mock draft simulator. I'm on NFL mock draft database. I love this site. I've linked to it for years now, so I hope they're doing well. They run too many ads on this. It makes it a little hard to share as a streamer. But other than that, expert board, let's go fan board. Oh, can't do that. So, but I do want fast. Don't make me pay for fast. Standard types of trades, enter the draft room, and we will get going. Let's see what I'm getting served at for my programmatic ads. See what it thinks I've been looking at. Definitely. Oh, there's coffee. Yeah, there's coffee over there. That makes sense. Definitely not. Well, I actually said the words American Eagle yesterday because my daughter had an American Eagle shirt on. So there's that ad. I tried that one time. I walked around saying, what's one thing I would never, ever think about buying on my own? And I was like, man, I could really be interested to know about patio furniture. And I said it for like 3 weeks. I never got served patio furniture ads, but about a month later, I got a catalog about 2 inches thick of patio furniture with my name on it. So I was actually surprised. Now that I've said it on here, I should get patio furniture ads. I'm not buying patio furniture. I'm not in the market, I promise you. Got a trade from Kansas City. We move down to the 3rd, and we get 4 extra picks, including a 4th and 2 5ths. I don't know about that one. Nathan just jumped in real quick. Says, wanted to know if you mentioned the Falcons' new hire of assistant GM Jeff Scott. Yes, we did. Coming from the Eagles. He's got a scouting background, all things I like. You come from a program that knows how to build rosters, and he comes from a scouting program, a scouting background where he was doing professional scouting. He was scouting potential free agents as well as the opposition. I think it is, on paper, it's a very, very good hire on that one. And yes, Mike Evans left the division. He is playing with the 49ers. I don't want to move down this far. So let's reject that one. I definitely don't want to move down to 102. That wouldn't be a bad deal. I mean, if I'm looking for next year, I would take this deal. I get 227 fourths and a 27 fifth to move down. What's that? 15 spots. Woo! I'd take that deal in a heartbeat. So for those of y'all listening on the audio podcast afterwards and can't see this, the New England Patriots have offered us two 2027 fourth rounders and a 2027 fifth and pick 131 in this draft to move down from 48 to 63. I would do that deal in a heartbeat. I almost want to do it now. We'll move down 15 spots to pick up the fourth. We won't get to make these picks, but I would absolutely do that pick. So we'll pretend like, hey, this one's real. I'm not moving down that far. After, I don't like doing too many trades because I can sit here and do trades all day. All right. So on the board here, I've got linebacker Anthony Hill. Yes, we like him. We've got wide receiver Chris Brazzell. Yep. D'Angelo Pons has been a very popular pick at corner. Definitely need a corner. Gabe Jacas was very good at Senior Bowl. Edge rusher from Illinois. Eli Stowers. Heard some questions about his hands. Jeremy Bernard has been a very popular pick with us as well. There's Mike Washington. I'm good at running back. I love him, but I'm not going that direction. If I wanted to go edge, Denver Luke, he says Gabe Jacas is your guy. I am more inclined right now. I've said it before and I'll say it again. But Scott, you don't think that this is, 2026 really matters? That's not quite what I mean. I think the biggest, if I could get like an upgrade in any position, I think the best place I could do it where it could make an impact for me this season, because I think wide receiver was handled in free agency. You've already upgraded there. For me right now, it's corner. So I'm going to go as a Dirty Bird star. And wide receiver, I would go this way too. It would be the other wide receiver, either Brazzell or but I can go Jacas. Absolutely. It would be Brazzell or Bernard. But I'm going to go Pons here. I'm going to get my wide receiver. And AJ doesn't like the fit there, and I understand that too, just because of the offense they run. There's a lot of scheming open on there. But I'm going to go Pons on this one. And we got him. What did we drag? We went down to 63 and we were able to get D'Angelo Pons, and we got another fourth rounder this draft out of it. And we got 3 picks next year. Whew. No, Denver, I'm not trading down that far. Let me move this one. It won't hide for me for some reason. There we go. It's probably gonna blink on and off about 10 times now. Let me close this one. I'm not doing that trail with Denver. I'm not going down to the 6 from the 3rd. Look at this. Look at this one. You guys want to have 20 picks in 2027? Move down 14 spots with the Rams. I get a 27 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'd do that deal too, because you know what then I would do? I'd package some of those together. If I had all these next year and I've got 2 4ths, I might try and move those together into the top of the 3rd. So I would do this deal too to move down 14 spots, but I'm not going to do this one. Going from 79. Oh, everybody wants to trade 2027 draft picks, don't they? Look at Antonio Williams still on the board there. Interior lineman Connor Lew. He's coming off an ACL. He had a first-round grade before he got hurt. And so he should have slid. He actually should have gone back to Auburn this year and played one more year healthy. But if I'm not sold on Ryan Newsel, who's on the last year of his deal, I get Connor Lew and let him come back 1 year. I redshirt him basically this year, and I plug him in as a starter in 2027. That makes a lot of freaking sense on that one. Dominique Orange. Russ, you like that one? You want your big defensive tackle? Let me bring up my Hopefully you guys won't get seasick as I'm scrolling up there. What did he do? 6'2", 322? That's not bad. That's some good size. Out of Iowa State. I'm interested. I can go that way. Grayson Halton's a little bit quicker. He's more inside. Skylar Bell's, his numbers are phenomenal. His pro day was off the charts, if I remember reading right. Just off the charts at pro day. His he was just a tick under 6 foot, 4'4", 41-inch vertical, and 11'1". We've taken Skylar Bell at 48 before. I don't mind doing this one here, y'all. What do y'all think? Denver Luke, he's not trying to. Orange or Hurst? Oh, there we go. I didn't even see him. Nathan, thank you. I could go either way. Let's do that. Orange or Hurst. We want to go defensive tackle, or do we want to go massive local third-round wide receiver to make up? For those of y'all that remember this, who remembers who the Falcons drafted? Who did Dan Reeves draft when he passed over? Who's our dirty blocker from Hines Ward from Georgia? Anybody remember the name? Anybody remember that name that came out to exercise the ghost of Dan Reeves? May he rest in peace. And Jamie German. We go with the local kid here. Let's go with the local kid here. I'm gonna go wide receiver here. Build the trenches in case. Give me citrus. Yeah, I can. I like that too. I'm gonna go wide receiver though too. I understand going defensive tackle. I do. I'm gonna go wide receiver on that one though with the local kid. But I would have no problem anybody saying they wanted a 320-pound defensive tackle. All right, move down 8 spots and pick up a 7th. No thanks. Man, this really slows it down when I do this. 4, 689, couple of 6. No thanks. 5th and a 6th and move down 30 spots. No thanks. Move down 20 spots, pick up a 27-6. No thanks. All right, now we're back in business here. And scroll up some. Oscar Delp on this. Malik Muhammad. Another corner. Devin Moore. I think Devin Moore might be coming in for a visit. Or did I read that about somebody else because I cover Florida too? Brian Parker is okay. See, and that's the problem. Now I'm like, I love Jalen Farmer. I really do. If we want to start building the trenches, I love Jalen Farmer. Delp is a solid tight end. Dante Corleone. What did the Godfather come in at? Wasn't he a decent size? Dante Corleone. Oh, there's your 6'1", 340. There's your size. What would y'all think about, for those of you, AJ, since I went wide receiver last time, what would you think about Corleone as a 6 foot and change, 340-pound run plugger at this spot? Wouldn't be a bad place. Otherwise, I'm thinking trenches, and I'm going Jalen Farmer, and then I've got my Matthew Bergeron insurance at the least. Devin Moore is a big corner. Let's go some size. Since we went skill last time, let's go some size here. Give me the Godfather. Corleone, I'm telling you. So we're going with the Godfather. Yeah, and the Falcons need it, especially what were we in the 4th round? It's like, oh, what do you need that for? He's 4th round. If I can get a rotational defensive tackle in the 4th round, I'm winning. That's a win. It's absolutely a win. Harold Perkins, didn't he just go 4.3 at his pro day? Like 4.38 or something crazy? Oh, and Jalen Farmer's still there. See, that's what happens when you trade down. You don't have to make choices. I can get them both. I want to go big again. I want to go Jalen Farmer again here. What do you think? Reggie Kelly, I think Corey was talking about the draft. Reggie Kelly was, I listed him as one of the Falcons' 5 biggest draft busts of all time. And it wasn't necessarily because of Reggie Kelly. It was because Dan Reeves, may he rest in peace, got fired from 3 different jobs because he thought he was a GM, and he wasn't. So Reggie Kelly was the guy, the Falcons, when they traded a future first, it was the 1999 draft. They traded their 2000 first round pick for Baltimore's 2nd rounder and they took Reggie Kelly, who was a run-blocking tight end. And then Jamal Anderson blows out his knee. And in 1999, the Falcons go 5-11. And it ended up being a top 5 or 6 pick. And the Ravens spun that pick into Jamal Lewis, who, back when running backs were cool, that was a big one. How big is a Kentucky farmer? Good size. He's not huge. He played some tackle out there. Jalen Farmer comes in at, he's 6'5", 315, 34-inch arms, 4'9", 40. I mean, he's good. He's really good. I like him. There's Farmer. Who else were we looking at here that could be interesting? It was Harold Perkins. That's kind of where I was going. Jude Bowery is a decent offensive tackle prospect too. But and we did get Hurst. Some of y'all must be just a little bit behind. But for an offensive tackle, Jude Bowery is not a bad developmental piece there. And frankly, at 6'5", 493 with his, I think Farmer has the ability to play across all of the positions. So I'm gonna go Farmer. I'm a big fan of his. I really am. And let's see who's still here. When are we back on the board here? And it's cruising through. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee while it's cruising through. How do I have 9 email addresses or 9 emails since we've been sitting here? Bo Stevens, he's gone. Josh Cameron, wide receiver. Now we start getting, okay, can we find players at all? We're on the clock. What number are we on here? What pick are we? Pick 215 in the 6th round. Some decent. Oh, I'm not passing this guy up. Adam Randall, he's not lasting this long. He's just not. He's 6'3", 230 pounds, running in the 4.4s, former wide receiver, can catch the ball, runs tough, selfless. I'm not passing this guy up. AJ, I'm with you here. If I make him number 3 and he's fighting with Nate Carter for a roster spot, may the best man win. I'll let Adam return kicks this year. He'll do whatever you ask him to. I'm not passing him up. We back on the board again already? We are. See, I love trading down. It's fun to keep getting more picks. I don't have to make choices. Wide receiver, edge. Now, Justin Jefferson, I don't know much about him at linebacker. Pat Coogan, an Indiana offensive lineman. You know he's going to be tough. Cade Klubnik, he was listed as the number 1 overall pick around May of last year. Boy, did he fall. Eli, there's not a whole lot of names in here I recognize. I can go some pure speed with Lorenzo Styles. How about linebacker? What do you think? Jack Kelly can play a little bit. What do y'all think about we go linebacker? You want Nathan says the top ranked OT. Yes, Major says, is there anybody you believe the Falcons are guaranteed to pick right now? Absolutely not. Not when they're picking at 48. There's 30 guys to choose from on that. What I would think though is I think they will take either, this is really narrowing it down, wide receiver, cornerback, edge, or defensive tackle. I think those are like the 3 best players, premium positions. I think it's gonna be one of those 4. I don't think it'll necessarily be edge. So I think it's wide receiver, corner, or defensive tackle at 48. Offensive tackle, it's interior line. See, there's not really any offensive tackle still on the board here. Thaddeus Dixon, Styles, Kelly. We could go linebacker and put him in pretty quickly. Sawyer Robertson, I'm not a fan of him. Fernando, no. Eric Rivers, wide receiver. I think he's gotten a couple visits here recently. Spears Jennings, Amari Harvey. No, I'm too far down. Let's go linebacker with Jack Kelly. Or did I miss him? Let's go linebacker. We need some competition there. We need some comp, and he might not even make the team, but we need some competition there. Doesn't show us. There we go. It didn't show us all the other picks we got. Well, that was half the fun. Well, that's not. How can I show up? I got 4 more picks for next year too. But we went corner, wide receiver, DL, trenches, skill, linebacker. I like the positions here. And then we also got a bunch of picks for next year. So I do like Jennings Dunker Mullet. He might be he might go. He'll probably go by the end of the second round. So we got some size. We got some size and speed. We got an immediate contributor here in Pons. He's seeing the field. Pons is seeing the field. Hurst is seeing the field. Dante's seeing the field. Randall's seeing the field. Farmer, maybe. Jack Kelly, maybe. Some immediate contributors, and we got. Why won't it show us the other picks we got? Explore more. See, that's for that ad. So, oh well. We know we got them. So on that note, I am going to I'm going to get us out of here. So, just a reminder, hit the link in the bottom. Check out PrizePicks. Let's talk about some of your picks when we see you on Monday. Garrett will be back here Thursday night. We'll see what happens. You never know. They've talked about a second wave of free agency, and yes, there will be some more signings from the Atlanta Falcons because they got to have 95 guys come to camp. So there's going to be more people coming with a chance to make the team. I don't expect any big splash guys. And remember, once we get past the draft, the comp pick formula then is gone. So I can sign whoever I want to for however much I want to starting Monday after the draft, and it does not affect the comp pick formula anymore. That's about all I got for you. So to wrap up the show, if you're catching the end, we hit on the new general manager. We hit on Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. We did our daily fantasy segment, our mock draft. We're dealing with a lot of stuff that's going on. So I hope y'all had a fun day. I want to say thank you to Trent, who's been a member for 4 months, and Robbie, who signed up today as a new member. Thank you as well. Got any questions? Hit me up in the comments. And that's all I got. I've had a good time with y'all today. We will see you again. Remember, draft party. Set your calendars. Draft party, Taco Mac Duluth, 7 o'clock, Friday, April 24th. We're doing it, y'all. And I'm going to invite a bunch of people too. So see if we can't get some more content providers out there as well and let them network. Collaborate a little bit. And I'm contemplating if and how I want to try and live stream from there. At the very least, if we're not just talking for 5 straight hours, maybe we turn the camera onto the party and people come up and say hello to the camera. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll work it out together. And that's it. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this gorgeous first day of April. It is April Fool's Day, isn't it? April Fool's Day. Feels like April, really nice day outside. I'm going to get out there and enjoy it day to me. Thanks, y'all. We'll see you next time.